Hello and welcome to today's show, Radiant Realization with Namrata. I'm your host, Namrata Shah, and I have an awesome guest today, Aayushi Garg. She's on her journey to revolutionize how India studies. Welcome, Ayushi, and I'm super excited to have you today.
Thank you so much, Namrata, for having me here. And yes, we finally did it.
Yes. Okay. So Ayushi, I know like all the good work that you are doing. If after getting to know you and all the activities that you do, after looking at your social media videos, what I felt like had I met you while I was studying for my CA, I would have scored rank, is what I still feel. But anyways, let's help other people to get those medals. And I know you're doing a great deed around that. So Ayushi, what got you started to pick this as your coaching niche to help people study in a right way, in a better way, that they can get maximum productivity out of limited number of hours they put into their studies?
Uh, Thank you for asking me this question. And now, if I look back and think about my coaching journey, so it happened around COVID when I had left my corporate job. And I wanted to start something of my own. And I always had this thing in my mind, ki, okay, whenever I have the time, opportunity, and bandwidth, I would love to help students in clearing their exam, because even when I was in my corporate job, there were a lot of articles struggling with their exams. No, not a lot of students confused, not knowing how to manage their studies along with job. And being a chartered accountant myself, having cleared all the exams in first attempt, and also have given other many competitive exams, again clearing it, I knew that I had some ways of studying which is very unique, and almost nobody, no other student is aware about them. So I thought, okay, maybe whenever I'll have the time and the bandwidth, I will definitely coach and mentor students in clearing their exams in their journeys. Now, after leaving my job, I was on my journey to explore my passion, my finding, my calling, and I was trying my hands on many other different startups and things related to mental health, this and that. And I thought, okay, I promised myself to help students. Let me help students all in my circle, in my relatives, neighbor, everyone. So I started doing this coaching with them, where whatever I had learned from my like lacks of investment in self-help and all these years of my own unique way of study, I started teaching them, and they got benefited. It was such a great feedback. I said, okay, let me expand my horizon and include more students, where I was like mentors in a group. So I invited, okay, you also come and I'll teach you. And again, it was a great feedback. And then I was doing it as a hobby. Okay, no, having no clue that it would end up to where it is today. I just started doing it for as a hobby, and in that journey, there were like many ups and downs. So the start was not that smooth, I would say. There was a time where it became very challenging to convince a student, okay, why they need it and how it's going to help them. So there was sometimes I'm giving up on it and then I'm taking back. But that one thing happened. I decided, okay, I don't want to do this further, because it's very difficult to convince students and their parents that why they need it today. So I said, okay, let me focus on my own work and let me not do it. I will. But after the exams and the results got declared, I got almost every student, okay, who I had mentored and coached in that journey. There were like 5 to 10 of them who were struggling to clear their exams, like taken 4 attempts, 5 attempts, 3 years, so much of trauma because of COVID and everything. And they were able to clear their exam. And there was one particular student who even told me, ki, ma'am, for last 2 attempts, I did not even have a courage to go and write my exam. And this attempt, after your coaching and after your mentorship, I not only appeared for my exam, but also cleared my second group with 2 exemptions. I said, okay, wow. Now, that one thing made me persistent. Ki, okay, even if there is nobody, or even if there is one student who needs me, I'm going to keep doing this work. And that's where I decided, I got this determination ki no, I don't I want to do it. Even if one life is getting changed, even that one lineage is getting changed, I should do it as a responsibility. That's when I decided to take it up as a mission, as a challenge. And by God's grace, there is no looking back. Those 510 students, today I have a my own tribe of 1200 plus students, and there are more than 15,000 students who have been part of my some or the other workshop training program. And yeah, and there is no stopping.
And my wishes to you, Ayushi, that it never stops.
Thank you so much. So it has been a wonderful journey. I mean, I never expected to be here, and the way it has all unfolded, this entire mission, it's so beautiful and it satisfies me so much.
So Ayushi, you did say about that you knew specific ways of studying, which you call smart study, which not many people know about it. So how do you define smart study?
Okay. Glad that you asked this question, because every student thinks that they're studying in a very smart way when it's not the truth. So if I take an example where we commonly see there is a labor, okay, the labor is working throughout the day and he's earning a very minimal wage, right? On the other side, if there is a billionaire, that billionaire is maybe working just for a few hours and earning what the labor can never reach in his entire life, like what he's making in a day or in a month. Now here, even though labor is working hard throughout the day, putting 15 hours of effort, he's not nowhere close to the earnings of billionaire. And even though he's working very less, he's earning way more. So here we would say ki, okay, labor is like gada mazuri kar raha hai, and this billionaire is like someone who's playing smart. Now same thing applies to students. There are students who are slogging, who are studying like throughout the day, married their books, sleeping with them, waking up with them, and yet for years and attempts, they're not able to clear the exam. On the other hand, there are students who are having very limited study hours, maybe 8 or 10 hours. I know so many people when I was studying, and even after I've interviewed so many rankers, they used to study like 8 to 10 hours a day. Even some of them are even fond of watching movies, watching a movie almost every second day, and yet they cleared with single digit AIR. So the way these people are studying, okay, less time and more outcome is what I call smart studies. So this is how I define it. He doing less but getting more output, more outcome. And if you are studying in that way, it is a smart study. Now, I would also like to share with you, as I said, I started this coaching when I left my job 4 or 5 years back. But if I talk about how I learned the smart study and what led me to be here, I think my journey started way back in the year 2009. Okay, when I was getting promoted to class 10th. And that's where I went to a seminar, a workshop. I see every successful person had that one point of turning point in their life where they got this eureka moment, or their direction of life got changed. So that was first turning point of my life when I entered that seminar. It was about the power of memory, and it was about more about subconscious mind. And I decided I want to do it. Although it was an expensive affair coming from a middle class family, a medium sized city, but yet thanks to my parents, they supported me. I did that program, and it changed everything for me. Okay, I learned about memory, subconscious mind, all these things which I was having no clue about. And 10th standard is also the time where we think कि यार मुझे क्या बनना है life में, right? 10th standard is where you have to decide what career you would like to pursue. I was in the similar phase, and I remember my first guru. I saw him on the stage and the way he was guiding and influencing, and I know the profound impact he had on me at that age. And within me, I got this urge कि यार, in my life, I would like to do something like that. Okay, speaking, inspiring, and at the same time making money and also getting a lot of blessings and love is the kind of career I would like to pursue. This is me in 2009 when I had thought about what career I would like to have. At that point of time, I had no clue. I had no idea how it will happen. Okay, but if I see Earth is round, everything comes back in the circle. And exactly in 10 years, I happened to make the decision, leave my job, get onto my journey to finding my passion, And even though I did not decided to pursue it because I had forgotten that thought, which I got in 2009. But when I actually started doing it, I realized, okay, this is the first career which I thought I would pursue and I truly loved. And my journey, I would say, to becoming who I am today started in the year 2009. And as a result of it, I always topped my school, topped my class, cleared all the exams in first attempt. Based on whatever I learned from there, I kept on experimenting and improving it, modifying it, adding my own ways, my own techniques. And it was so much fun for me that I become a coach for everyone when I was in class 10th. It was everything was new to me. So I remember a queue of my friends, waiting for me, and I used to write their timetables. I used to write their study plan, and this was my favorite pastime because I was a class topper. Everybody would come to me because it was like 10th board. They want guidance, and I would coach and guide everyone. Okay, this is how you plan your day. This is how you study. This is how you stick to the plan. And it was like a fun thing for me when I was in class 10th. But see, today world is so dynamic. I'm having and living it as my passion, as my career, doing it for thousands of students now.
Interesting, Aisha. This is really interesting. So, what would you say to somebody if they ask you how to handle distraction or disturbances while they are studying?
Okay, so when I called about distraction, so in today's world, it's it's the most distracted world. It has never been the case when you were studying, I was studying. But for today's generation, it has become so difficult to achieve their goals, keep on studying because it has become the most boring thing, given there are a lot of entertaining distractions around. Now, if I talk about distractions, there are two kind of distractions. One is internal, one is external. Now, if I talk about external distraction, these are like distractions which are from a physical object or a thing. For example, mobile phone. It's the biggest distraction for today's generation. If I talk about internal distractions, it's about your inner thoughts, okay, which is against your goal. So some maybe a fear is a distraction. A lack of confidence is a distraction because it stops you from pursuing goal. Now, there are different ways when it comes to dealing or handling these distractions. There are a lot of techniques which I teach students. But if I have to share one good technique for both of them, so simple thing for to carry on your physical distraction, okay, I'll just say one statement, okay. Studying is not difficult. Studying along with your mobile phone is super difficult. So how do you handle this? Make a rule for yourself. In the room where you are sitting and studying, you are not allowed to have your mobile phone around. You give it to your parent, you give it to your friend, your sibling, or you just lock it in a room, okay, in a cupboard, and you do not study with your mobile phone. I always encourage students to study using their laptop because mobile phone is a big distraction. It's not something which helps you study, but it has everything to take you away from your studies. So that is how you handle one of the ways you handle physical distraction. But again, in my workshop, I take students to the entire process where they do the mobile detox and they learn many other things which helps them to stay focused. Secondly, if I talk about internal distractions, which are your fears, your thoughts, the negative thoughts, something happened around you, your worries. So for inner distraction, there's like a whole process, okay, where we change your belief system, where you start thinking positively by yourself, not imposing those positive thoughts, but attracting it naturally. When we do the cleansing exercise, and I help them change their beliefs. Now, we cannot do that everything over here, but what one advice I can give to all the students is simply allocate a time for yourself, maybe 30 minutes a day, where you can think all the thoughts. And whenever you are sitting and study, have a rule that, okay, this is my study time. So let's say for this 2 and 3 hours, I'm not allowed to think about what's going in my family, what my friends are saying, how difficult the exam is going to be. So every time, okay, this kind of thoughts come on your way to your concentration on studies, you stop them. You tell yourself, ki, okay, I'm going to think about it, but not right now. This is my study time. I will think about it during my worry time, okay, which is maybe 8 to 8:30 at the night. And if I study well in these 3 hours, I will give myself worry time to think about everything which can go wrong with me or in this world. I'm free to think about anything, but right now I have to focus only on studying. So by consistent awareness and training yourself that particular way, so inner thoughts will not be eliminated, but even they will become disciplined to bother you only during your worry time or only during your thinking time.
Actually, you did tell about how to handle distraction. How can students schedule breaks in their daily life so they are able to get higher productivity? Because studying for long hours is very tiring. Like I remember like those days, and sometimes I really thank myself that I don't have to go back to those days and study for longer. But how to manage studies along with breaks?
All right, so that's again a very useful question for every student who's watching the video and even for the parents. Now, biggest mistake, one of the biggest mistake I would say which student make when they're studying is studying throughout the day. How often it is for us to see those students, okay, sleeping with their book and being with their book throughout the time, even when they're having lunch or dinner, they're not leaving their book. There is no discipline when it comes to taking break. And I have seen so many students who feel like very uncomfortable with the idea of taking break. So even if they're on break, a part of them is always feeling guilty. Oh shit, I wasted my 1 hour. Oh, it's been 40 minutes. I have not been studying. And in their mind, they are like calculating, okay, I'm lagging behind as compared to my peers. So they do not allow themselves to take a break, even to take a breath. That's a huge mistake because this is not how human beings are wired. So even when we go to school, uh, no, a normal period of any subject would be around 40 to 50 minutes or maximum 60 minutes, not beyond it, because that is what our attention time span is. Now here students, they want to sit and study for 10 hours without taking a break. It's never going to happen. Okay. Until unless you're born with some superpower, that's a different story. But normal human beings, it's clearly impossible. And I would never recommend any student to have that route because it's very depressing and frustrating. You need a break, and it's your right and also your necessity. So how they should take a break? It's very simple. Okay, they should decide on their study hours. Let's say some student want to study for 9 hours a day. So the 9 hours a day cannot be like, okay, I'll start at 3 o'clock until 9 o'clock in the night. I'll study for 6 hours. No, this is not how it goes. This 9 hours you divide into maybe 3 or 4 parts. Okay, 3 hours in the morning, 3 hours in the noon, 3 hours at night, and rest of the time they enjoy their break. And every time they are studying for like 2 to 3 hours, they need to have a break for at least 1 hour. Okay, two study slots need to be separated at least by 1 hour if they really want to study productive in the next slot. Now when I take a break, students are like, okay, physically they will not touch the books, they will not study, but mentally they are still worrying. अरे अरे वो syllabus कैसे complete होगा, इतना सारा बचा है, इस मेरे friend का तो 3 revision हो गया है, सर ने तो इतना सारा पढ़ा दिया है. No, this is not a break. It's like भले ही प्रोडक्शन नहीं हो रहा है फैक्ट्री में, बट द मशीन्स आर वर्किंग. सो ऐसा ब्रेक किसी काम का नहीं है. इट्स इनफैक्ट यू आर ड्रेनिंग योरसेल्फ इवन वर्स्ट. सो व्हाट यू शुड डू इज कंप्लीट ब्रेक. Okay, your mental and physically you have to take a break. Maybe you go out, you watch TV, you talk to your family members, you have something which makes you feel good as a reward of the whatever studies hour you have put in. So this is how they should and they must take calculated breaks, and that is the only thing which will ensure that you study productively. Okay, because studying without breaks is productivity is not possible. So productivity and giving yourself break go hand in hand.
Actually, when we are studying, there are a lot of instances where we tend to procrastinate that this subject I'll study later, this I'll do now. I'll pick up a topic or a subject which is of interest to me. So in such situation, what would you recommend your students how to deal with procrastination and how to give equal priorities to most of the subjects?
So procrastination is a very common term in today's world, be it students, be it working professionals, everyone. Okay, they are almost everyone is procrastinating. And students, of course, they are no exception. In fact, I would say they are leading the troop when it comes to procrastinating. Now, firstly, to get over procrastination, it's important to understand why are they procrastinating. So if I see students and why they procrastinate, so most of them confuse procrastination with laziness. And they feel like, oh, I'm lazy, I cannot study, I find studies boring, and that's the reason I'm procrastinating. So that's a myth, okay? Laziness might be one of the reason for procrastination, but what I see as another significant reason leading to procrastination is lack of clarity. Okay, lack of clarity of goal. It's not like they don't want to do it. They don't want to study that subject. They don't want to complete the syllabus. But the problem is they don't know where to start and how to start. And because figuring this out itself is a task, they keep on procrastinating it. अरे बाद में कर लूंगा, अरे आज मुझे इतना काम है, मैं स्टडीज कल से कर लूंगा, आज मम्मी की हेल्प कर देता हूँ, कल पापा की हेल्प कर देता हूँ. Because they don't know how to figure out, they don't figure out, and they keep on procrastinating. So in nutshell, they really want to study, they are worried about their results, but the reason they procrastinate is because they have lack of clarity on how to start and what to start with. The best thing I would suggest every student out there who find themselves procrastinating their studies is have a clear study plan. What do you want to accomplish in next 1 week, in next 1 month, in next 2-3 months? And when you have the clarity, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do, it will become much easier for you to stick to the plan and to take the subjects on the dates when you have decided. But if you do not plan your studies, you'll just keep on procrastinating. And even if you don't procrastinate, you study on random basis, it will not do any good to you. Okay. So the best way to deal and overcome procrastination is to have a study plan. It will tell you clearly in in our language कि आप कितने पानी में हो. And when you see yourself drowning in the water is where you start putting more effort. फिर हाथ पैर चलना शुरू हो जाते हैं. So when they see कि अरे I have this much of syllabus to be covered and I have only this much time left, procrastination उनके दिमाग में भी नहीं आएगा. In fact, they will start procrastinating on sleep and taking rest. So it's very important to face the reality which a proper study plan would help you do.
So Ayushi, you're talking about study plan and deciding day-to-day schedule. So I would like to know from you, what is the importance of self-discipline in entire journey that they would take till the time they clear the competitive exam and become a proper professional?
So I guess discipline is one of the most key ingredient for student. But मुझे फिर भी कहीं ना कहीं लगता है कि it's little overrated. Okay, so it's not possible for somebody who's very young at a tender age, especially in their teens, to be very disciplined. Until unless they come from an army background or their parents are very strict and disciplined, it does not come naturally, and it takes a lot of effort for someone to be disciplined. So, of course, self-discipline should be there. Some level of self-discipline needs to be there if they really have to achieve their goal. But even if it's not 100% discipline, but if they have this thought process of, okay, making the best from whatever is there, again, is very helpful. But yes, I do train students on how to stay disciplined and consistent. And what I will say is it has a lot to do with how eagerly you want to achieve your goal. Let's say you might not be a disciplined person, but if you really want to achieve that goal, even that brings you a lot of discipline. And here, fear also helps. Okay. If I talk about myself as a student, I won't say I have been a very disciplined person. I was not a disciplined student as well at all. But I always had this little fear. So that little fear used to push me. Okay, what if I don't clear and my friends would clear and it will not be a good scenario for me. So I had this little fear, okay, I want to do it. I don't want to end up in this situation. Now there is a very thin line, okay? People say, oh, you should not have any fear. No, I said, yes, you have a fear. You must have a fear because that's how humans are wired. If tomorrow a element of fear is taken away and let's say we reach to the edge of the mountain and we don't have fear, will kill ourselves without any fear. Same goes for students. Okay, they need to have some kind of fear which can keep them disciplined, which can keep them on the track. But fear becomes a problem when it stops you from taking action. If I'm walking towards towards the top of the mountain, so till the time I walk the mountain, if the fear is controlling me, I will never be able to enjoy the view. But if I'm so scared that I don't even reach to the top of the mountain, that's when the fear becomes problem. So yes, I would say discipline is important. Having clarity on why you want to achieve that goal is important, and along with it, slight element of fear, really helps you go a long way. Until unless it's cripple you from taking action. If it is helping you taking action, it will keep you disciplined also. But if it is crippling, you end up self-sabotaging, not taking action, then yes, it needs to be addressed.
I see you did guide about keeping cell phone aside and working with laptops. So I feel like you're giving a lot of importance to technology. Like how can students make best use of technology that would help them become more productive and study in much better way? So what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, definitely. So as it is said that Ati sarvatra varjate. Okay, so excess of everything is dangerous. It's poison. So same with technology. If you use it correctly, it's the greatest boon. ऐसे लिखते थे बचपन में विज्ञान. So if you use it wisely, it's a boon, and if you misuse it, then it becomes the biggest curse. So same is the case with technology in today's world. If students they use it rightly, it's the biggest blessing because everything is available at a fingertip. It's not like unlike earlier days where you have to hunt and so much connect with people and literally travel miles to get some resources. No, in today's world, you really have everything on the tip of your finger. And we do use technology even when I mentor students. So one simple example I'll give you is when I used to study as a student, I used to go to library every single day. Like 1 hour in the morning, I'm traveling. 1 hour at night, I'm coming back to my hostel when I was studying in Mumbai. Now, in today's time, when we have students who are coming on board with us, getting mentored, we have open e-libraries for them. Okay, so where all of them can stay connected, all of them can see each other and can save so much of their time, money, and effort using this one simple thing. And again, there's no need for a physical alarm clock. There is so many features. Even our mobile phone has. There is a productivity app, whatever you want to do. Okay, if you want to drink water on timely basis, there is a timer reminder. There's so much out there. So maybe students they can explore what are their challenges and see how they can overcome it with the help of technology. But and I believe most of the challenges can be taken care of. Like so many students get to know about me and become part of my tribe, my community with the help of technology only. So technology really have answer to anything and any challenge which you're facing.
Okay, so in this journey, when student is studying hard, putting the youthful days and celebrating those days with books, what do you think? What is the role of parents?
So I'm so glad that you asked this question. I believe that there must be many parents seeing this video. So ऐसे हमारे इसमें कहा जाता है ना कि पेरेंट्स की छत्र छाया में हो आप तो आप सुरक्षित हो, right? If you are being guided or secured by your parents, then you can do anything. You can reach any height in your life. Now, I say it's very, very important that you need that umbrella. You need to be under that umbrella, the security of parents, if you really have to grow and do well in life. And that's what parents' job is. Okay, to give that security and to give that cover to their children, where they are not harmed, their self-esteem, they are not bothered by the society and whatever notion society has. So let's say if others are creating a lot of pressure, ki, oh, why is your why is your daughter or son is not clearing the exam, or naming them or trying to blame them, shame them, it's parents' responsibility. It's a parents' duty to build that cover and the shield that everything which reaches to their son and daughter goes through them and they really act like a filter. कि कुछ भी ऐसा ना जाए उनके बच्चों पे which might have a negative impact on their thought, on their self-esteem. So that is what the real role of parent is. If I talk about myself, I've been so blessed and fortunate. My parents acted always like a strong shield for me. Nothing, they never pressurized me. They never asked me to pursue something. They never stopped me from anything. Even when I left my job, they never questioned me, no matter how much people are talking about, but they never questioned me. And their faith and belief in me has been my biggest asset. But if what I'm seeing in most of the students and their parents' cases, the exact opposite is happening. Now, if the society is creating pressure, oh, your son is not clearing the exam, oh, your daughter is not clearing the exam, when will she get married, when will he or she start earning, parents start panicking and they feel like they need to push their children. Now, what they do is they take this pressure from the society, they add their own emotional and mental pressure and pass it on to the children. That's not how you help your child. I mean, when you see your child studying day and night, giving their best, putting their best, it's your job to shield them. And even if after doing all this thing, it's not like you have to push and pressurize the child to do more. You are literally killing your suffocating your children. Your job is to figure out, okay, my job, my son, my daughter, she's giving her best, she's trying her best. Now, what is she lacking? What resources is she lacking? And in today's world, everyone must have a mentor, okay? Because it's information overload है. पहले था कि information ही नहीं था, ठीक है? And आज का ज़माना है कि information इतना ज़्यादा है that literally when you Google something, when you try to figure out something, there are 1,000 proven ways, okay, to achieve a goal, and that's where you get lost. And that's where having a right mentor or right guide comes into the picture. Somebody who has walked the path, somebody who has the capability to guide you through the path, and also having the intention to help you to make you figure out, okay, forget about those thousands of paths out there, follow this path, and then you'll reach the goal. So if you see your child is suffering, instead of questioning their potential, making them feel bad about it, be their friend. Try to figure out कि क्या हो रहा है, what's happening. If they're studying, why are they not giving, getting the output, getting the result? So it's not like okay, creating pressure. No, that is the worst thing. Okay, you can do to your children. They don't count on society. They don't count on their neighbors or relatives. But it's only their parents. Okay, if they show faith and belief in their children, they can do wonders. But if on the contrary, they become get into the opposition shoes, they are not understanding, they are not being supportive, they're making their children's life hell. So the parents, they do play the most crucial role because they're just like the soil, okay, which helps the seed grow, protects the seed. So that's how the parents needs to be.
Oh, you've given a different perspective on parenting. Okay.
Yeah.
Ayushi, sometimes it is parental pressure, sometimes it is peer pressure. So assuming that there's no such pressure, but there's something called as like you have your own desire to give your best, right? Suppose you cleared an exam in first attempt, so next time you would challenge yourself to get good rank. If you got a rank, you want to be in that top 10. If you are in top 10, you want that to be that gold medalist.
Right.
Students who have high expectation from themselves, what do you tell them? How do you mentor them? Is there some different way to drive their energy, drive their focus, or it's like you would do for any other student?
So the students who have this high aspirations, okay, who are very ambitious, it's always a pleasure, okay, to guide somebody with a lot of energy and to channelize their energy in the right direction. But what gets important over here is to keep them grounded, okay, to make them realistic, because having these expectations create a pressure on our own self. Again, it can be positive, negative, depending upon the magnitude. Let's say I have very high expectations from myself that oh, I need to get a rank. Now, what creates a problem here is the conditions we put in. Okay, if I want to get only rank 10 or only rank 1, I'm not supposed to have any family life. I'm not supposed to have a break. I'm not supposed to watch movies. I'm not supposed to go out. So these are the conditions, okay, which we impose on our own self depending on the beliefs which we have कि नहीं यार जो अंडर रैंक 1 होता है उसको ऐसे होना चाहिए, कि उसको ऐसे नहीं, उसको ये करना चाहिए, उसको वो करना चाहिए. So it basically comes down to what kind of belief system they have. Whereas if there is a student, okay, it was like, okay, I can do this if I only study my best and I don't need to compromise. So they too will have a different life. Okay. Now, what plays important role over here is what is the story they are playing in their own mind. So the one thing I help students with is to keep a check on the story and also their beliefs at the same time. If they have a lot of limiting beliefs like if this needs to be done, that needs to be done, and only then it will happen. No, they need to get rid of these conditions because they are not helping them. In fact, they are acting like a baggage on their shoulder, which will make it very difficult for them to reach their journey. Let's say they decide, okay, I want to study. If I want to get order in one, I need to study for 16 hours a day. And for some reason, if they're not able to study 16 hours a day every day for so many months, then guess what? Gradually and automatically, they will give up on their dream, on their idea. So, what one thing I help students with, be it somebody with high aspiration or no aspiration, is to transform their belief system. Is what helps. It's what balances them. It's what enables them to aspire more and also reach more, get more in their life, achieve more in their life. At the same time, not draining themselves, not exhausting themselves. So yeah, that's one thing I do with students, which immensely help them.
And Ayushi, what I understand from that, you are not a person who would tell people to study for long, but you would tell students to make effective use of time, have more extracurricular activities, follow their passion. So, how would you recommend anybody to inculcate everything in their schedule at the same time, have focus on studying?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So, as you rightly said, I never ever ask any student to study for like 16 hours a day. Even a UPSC mains student or a CA panel student, I say no. 12 hours is more than enough. And even if you study just 8 hours with focus and proper planning, that is more than enough for you to clear any damn exam in the world. Now, it's again, being a student myself, I never drained myself, like never gave up on my hobbies. Like I still remember when I was studying, I was very fond of few, series or few serials, Hindi daily soaps. And I don't remember that I skipped on watching them. Even my exam days, I used to watch them as a motivation ki, okay, after I watch this serial, then I will start my studies. Or when I take break, I want to watch the serial. So it acted like a great motivation for me. Okay, I want to study well so that I can do that, and that's how I guide my students. Also, you plan your routine, you give time to whatever you like. Your hobbies, it can be playing instrument, it can be going to gym, it can be watching a particular web series. Now, just few minutes back, we also discussed about taking breaks, and that's where you implant them. Okay, so if you are having, let's say you want to do three different things, maybe watch a series also, play the musical instrument also, go to the gym also. So let's say you are having three break during the day. You do these things each of the breaks so that it gives you complete mental, emotional and physical break, and you are nowhere associated with your studies. Now, when you have this one fulfilling break, which makes you feel so happy and satisfied within you that you enjoy your life, next time when you sit and study, naturally you'll be more productive. And if I was like, no, you're not allowed to go out, you're not allowed to do this. 3 hours you are studying in the break also, you're a part of you is worrying about this and maybe feeling bad about giving up on hobbies. Then you see the kind of energy this student will have after this break as compared to the other student who's pursuing their hobbies and passion. So it's a lifestyle, right? And that's how millionaires and billionaires they do it. They don't compromise on it. You will always see them in movies, chilling out, going to clubs, partying, networking. So that it's not like you reach at that point and then only it is possible for you. Even at student level, you can live your life in a certain way that you get and make the most best from every single thing, from your studies also, from your social life also, from your personal life also, your hobbies also. And that's how this is my idea of student life. This is my idea of studying. And that's why I took it as a mission. Okay, let's change the way India studies. Okay, quit the boring ways and let's come with the innovative ways and open up our mind to a possibility that yes, it is possible to have best of both the world, even as a student.
I say how much anybody aspire to clear this competitive exam in first attempt and to get good marks. But sometimes they might face some setbacks or challenges. They might not clear, they might have to reappear for that exam. So in such situation, what would you tell them? How can they manage their mental and emotional state and then go ahead and plan for their examination, which is going to come in next few months?
That's a great question, and also it's very relevant because in some time the results are going to get announced in within 10 days. See, there is no harm in giving your best to anything which you want to do, which you want to achieve in your life. Let's say you, because we are both chartered accountants, let's take this example. Somebody who wanted to clear this exam, they gave their best, and still for some reason, if they could not get through it, so I believe with all the dignity and self-love, they should accept that there is not everything for everyone. Okay. Even after giving your best, putting your best effort, it might not be possible for you to achieve something or that particular thing because maybe that is not the thing for you. That's not your thing. So accept the fact that, okay, there is not everything for you. And in that moment, I encourage students to introspect and go back to the reason why they started doing what they are doing, why they wanted to get that degree or clear that exam for the first place. It was their parents' pressure, it was their out of no other option, or it was their own desire. And even after going through or facing failure, why they still want to do it? Is it because they really want to do it? Or is it because they don't know what else to be done? Or is it because they think they only have a good future doing this, or it is their parents' dream, or whatever? And do the introspection. And I feel most of the time students, they just keep on pursuing things because they're like, oh, ma'am, I've already given it 5 years of my life. What would I do now at this age? Let me do this only. So that is the last reason you should continue your studies. Okay. It's not like lack of potential, it is a lack of know-how. Okay. They need career counseling in that case. So when they have faced a setback, there are only two scenarios where they should appear for the same exam. First is when they think they have not given their 100% and they have a guilt कि यार last time मैं उतना अच्छा नहीं कर पाया जितना अच्छा कर सकता था. Then give yourself one more chance and do 100% justice this time. Second thing is maybe because they're like, okay, I really want to do it. And it's not like I have 10 other things, but this is only thing I want to do. And I really enjoy this thing. Then only you do it. Rest of the reasons you really need to rework upon, whether you want to do it again or not. Because in today's world, any profession, any business, any job is possible. So you should only do something because it brings you happiness and satisfaction. That's it. Not for a label, not for a title. It's only for your own happiness and inner satisfaction. You must do something. Otherwise, it's okay. सब चीज सबके लिए नहीं होती.
Yes, that's correct. I agree with your point. So, actually, one last question that I would like to know from you is around how to handle this study-related stress, even if it is not coming from external or like external, maybe parents, peers, society, neighbors, but you might have some expectation and you would create some stress on you. So your thoughts on both, if it is coming from external, how to manage that stress, if it is your own expectation from you, how to manage that study stress?
That's a lovely question because I feel everyone goes through it. So it reminds me of a rod of iron. Okay, there's a rod of iron which is maybe lying in an open surrounding, in an open environment. And if you see, there's a rain on it, there's a winter, and every season, okay, the iron rod is going through. After some point of time, it will get rust on it, right? वो रॉड पे रस्ट आ जाएगा, वो बाहर ऐसे ओपनली इन्वायरमेंट में रखी हुई है, इट विल हैव रस्ट. और ऐसा बोलते हैं ना, आयरन इज अ वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग एलिमेंट, इट्स द स्ट्रॉन्गेस्ट एलिमेंट, एंड नथिंग कैन kill or destroy the iron but its own rust. उसको अपनी रस्ट के अलावा कुछ और उसको तोड़ नहीं सकता, उसको डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं कर सकता. And I feel the same is the case with stress also, be it from the external source, be it by your own self. अब यहीं पे इस आयरन रॉड को हम अगर ऑयल पेंट कर देते हैं, like in our balconies, they are all made of iron, but we have coated them with a nice oil paint. अब उस पर भले कितनी भी बारिश आए, धूप आए और ठंड लगे, it's going to be intact. Nothing will bother, nothing will change the form of the element, nothing will spoil or destroy it. It's the same iron, but with the oil paint. So that's what I tell students, okay? Quote yourself, okay? Quote yourself that nothing, enters your area, enters your aura. Everything which is coming to you, you must keep a strict check, whether it is your own thought, whether it is somebody else's thought. You should, quote yourself around so that nothing external harmful is entering it. So you need to keep a check. Okay, what are you consuming? What kind of people you are around with? How much self-care are you doing? And I recommend students ki go spend with time in the nature every day. Maybe I even recommend you don't have to sit in the room, study at the same place all the time, like it was promoted in earlier times ki ek jagah hona chahiye, wahin pe din bhar baithna chahiye. Arey kahan hai? These things does not exist. We are more mobile than we have ever been, humans on the planet. We are reaching to like different planet in few hours. We are crossing 7 ocean seas like in few hours. You cannot expect a human to be stationary at one place for hours. That's against human principle, human's life in today's world. So go out and have a few hours of study in the nature. Take walk in the nature. It's a great healer. Spend time reading good books, listening to good music. Spend time with good people who makes you feel positive. So that's how you balance it up. Okay, कुकर में stress होता है, then it blows the whistle. So if you keep on releasing that stress and that pressure through any of this mode or mix and match, it is what will keep you sane. Be it a student or be it any working professional, even you and me, all of us have stress. But what's important is to create the leakage in your routine, in your life, so that it does not takes you to the level where you are blowing the whistles, where everyone is getting to know about it. Is to keep the stress being passed on, keep on releasing the stress. And one more thing which helps you is that quoting up yourself, okay? Deciding who has access to you, your thoughts, your mind, your body, your soul, what is entering inside you. The same case where the iron rod in the oil paint example is relevant over here.
Amazing, amazing, Aayushi. I am super impressed with the way you gave responses. I think definitely your students would be benefiting a lot. Some examples that, like iron rod example for sure, I loved it. And I also like your perspective on what parents should be doing. Because I don't think a lot of parents come with that thought process. In fact, they are also under a lot of societal pressure, what they should be doing, how they should be acting. But this thought process is definitely going to help them. And I loved the concept of taking breaks. Oh my God. I think I'd forgotten to take breaks for a long time in my life. I was studying, and then work. But yes, you
Must
reminded.
take breaks.
Yes, the importance of breaks. Thank you, Aayushi. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your views. I loved our conversation and every bit of it.
Same here, same here. It was such a pleasure interacting with you, and I'm so glad to be here. And I really hope that this message reaches to as many people as possible, and they become more aware about. They really don't have to study like they're in a prison. They don't have to lock themselves in a room. And it's like, and students' life is the best phase of life. I want every single student, not just in our country, but on this planet, to have the best time of their life when they're studying, and also reach and achieve all their goals at the same time, have a fulfilling career, and have a beautiful life. So thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts to help me grow my mission.
My pleasure.
Thank you.